I know that it's one of the TED Talks or TEDx that has been done over and over again by people, so it may feel like I'm echoing what other people have said, but in all honesty, nobody has ever told my part of the story. And all those people that told what is in the name are not from South Africa like I'm from South Africa. So my name is Silondiwe. My name is, I have 4 names, guys, so I will unpack all the 4 for you. And basically what I'm trying to get at today is for us to be able to use our names as manifestations of our lives, and to look at our lives and see how our names have shaped our characters, how our names have shaped our destiny, how our names basically proclaim who we are in this life thing. So I have 4 names, so I will start by talking about my first name, Silondiwe. And I wanted to talk about this because this past few weeks I was actually reflecting on my life and things that have happened throughout my life, and I've been through a lot of difficult things where I did not know how I was able to escape those things, and somehow I've always felt like there's a divine power that's protecting me throughout my life, and I've never had anybody to help me throughout life and hold my hand. But when I reflected on my name, and I was just like, okay, what does my name actually mean? Silondiwe means protection. It could be protection from God and protection from the ancestors, and it could also mean my parents wanted to be protected through me. And in my family home, I'm that anchor, I'm that so it was their prayer through me by giving me that name to say, through this child, we will be protected. Through this child, we'll experience good things. And they went on to give me a second name, which basically means the same thing as the first name. And the second name will be TEDxKhiva, and that's Zulu, that's the language that I speak. TEDxKhiva means, it means basically the one that has been nurtured, raised with care, or rescued. It basically means being saved, being protected. That's like calling somebody, if you had a daughter, or if your parents named you beautiful, and then they're like, no, she deserves a second name, let's call her gorgeous. She deserves a third name, let's call her pretty. Those names, they all mean the same thing, they are synonyms. So my second name was still my parents' prayers over my life to say, we want this child to be protected. We want this child to be kept in a safe space. And throughout my life, I've always felt like I was protected by a divine power. So we need to interrogate our names and see what is our character and what are the things that have happened in our lives that basically are because of who we are, because our names are our first stories. That's our first story before you even know any word, or before you even see the world, when you are still crying from your mother's womb. And here they are, they tell you, oh, your name is Mathebula, and you are just like, you know, that's your first story, that's your first prophecy upon your life. By the way, I did not know how to pronounce Mathebula's name when I first came here, which is the beauty of it all. I will also speak about Uzbek names and how it's so interesting how naming in Uzbek is also similar like naming in my culture. So my third name is Ncedile, and that comes from a Xhosa language. It's one of the Nguni languages. We have 11 official languages in South Africa, and Ncedile means basically helping. She has helped. And I'm like, so my parents looked at me and I was like, this one is destined to help us. I'm like, but why? I just need to live a soft life. I need to be a pillow princess. I need to be a princess, and I need to just, deserve all the soft things in life. But my parents are like, no, she is going to help. So I constantly feel as if in my life, my parents were saying, be protected so that you can be able to help us. And that's what I've been doing throughout my life, because my mother, for one, she never even graduated from high school. She was not like as smart, so at some point she decided that no, she's going to drop out of school, and then a few years later she had us. And her name is Phumelele. It's Zulu, and Phumelele means success. But the most interesting thing, you may ask, okay, so our names are a prophecy. Your mother's name is success, but she was not successful. So because sometimes when you hold your name with grace and with dignity, even if it does not manifest through you, it may manifest through your children. So my mother upon having me, she was like, I was not successful, but this child must be protected so that she can be the helper. And I'm successful, so I'm also carrying my mother's name, because I look at everything that I've been through and I'm like, how did I even get here? You know, I worked in South Africa, I worked in Abu Dhabi, I worked in Uzbekistan, I'm working in Uzbekistan right now, and I'm like, how did I even get here? Sometimes it does not make sense, but this will lead me to my fourth name. When things do not make sense, this is my fourth name. I actually had to ChatGPT it, and I copied and pasted, because I never liked this name. Wallahi, I never liked this name. I hated it when people called me by this name. I remember grade 7s asking me what my English name is, because Miss Ivy told them that in South Africa we have your native name and then you have the English name. So all the black South Africans have two names, the English, and so they came to me excited and said, Miss Silon, what's your second name? I said, I don't have it. So Miss Ivy said, everybody, I said, I do not have a second name. Well, I'm an exception. But the truth is, because of the colonial history of South Africa, we were colonized by Britain. So when the white people came to colonize our country, everybody was forced to basically give their children English names. Even the people that did not have English names back then, they gave them, they said, okay, you will come work in my household, we'll give you a name, your name will be Mary. You know, so and then you had to live with the fact that all your life you knew yourself as Silondiwe, now you are married because now you're a servant of this white person. So when we were going to school, we had to have a second name, and I hated it because of that. I hated my name because of that, because I was like, I'm given a colonial name, I'm given an English name so that it makes it easier for white people. I don't want to be associated with that. So only recently I was like, let me actually research what this name means. And I just realized that it's a beautiful, beautiful name. Hill, as we know, like it's like a highline area, like a mountain. And Doreen is apparently derived from Greek. Imagine. So, and it means gift or a gift of God. So the whole name means a gift from the heights or blessing from above, which means a blessing from God. And I'm just like, and my brother is the only person who calls me by that name. He always insists when he calls me, Hildoreen, Hildoreen. My students don't call me Hildoreen now. But it's okay. So he's the only one that calls me Hildoreen. And I'm just like, this is so beautiful. And it's so weird. Throughout my life, I'm a person who's interested in a lot of things. And Greek mythology is one of them. I've always learned about Greek history, and I've just always been fascinated by Greece, only to find out that actually my name is from Greece. You know, like it's so weird. And I'm like, okay. So all along, even if I did not embrace, even when I did not embrace my name, but it followed me. So our names follow us everywhere we go. So in African cultures, names are sacred, like I said. So they will actually mark a certain moment, hold a memory, or give identity, and they will speak life into your life. So because we also believe in ancestors in Africa, so some of the names will be basically calling upon the blessings of the ancestors upon your life, or calling upon the blessings of God upon your life. So, and other names will actually just I'm trying to think of an African, or like Miss Ivy. They will also use nature to name a person. Miss Ivy's African name is Majaji, and this basically means the one who belongs to the sun. Okay, so sometimes I do this a lot. I like, where's Jazz? Jazz, where is she? She's in the kitchen. So Jasmina. And Jasmina is a beautiful name, you know, and I'm guilty of this. I always try to shrink people's names because I'm trying to make it easier for me to pronounce it. Because Jasmina means, like, it's a beautiful flower, right? And it's a plant, so it's also got a lot of healing properties. You know, when you can't sleep, they say drink jasmine tea because it has these calming properties. So Jasmina, being called Jasmina, will mean you are a very calm, beautiful person. You have this beautiful aura. And I call her Jazz, but you know, I was feeling guilty. I'm like, why am I chopping her name? Why am I making it simpler for me? But for me, I was just like, I think I need to ask her if she's okay with me calling her Jazz. But do you guys know jazz music? Who knows jazz music? Jazz is like, it's this beautiful classical music that carries that beautiful melody, and it's soothing and it's full of love, and it's basically, it's calming like the effects of jasmine chai. So it's not as far off, but I need to ask her permission and say, are you okay with me calling you Jazz? Like my students call me Miss Silon, and that's because I gave them permission. So if you do not want people to cut your name, tell them straight up that no, my name is not Assad. My name is Asadulo. You have to pronounce all of it. My name is not Dima. Are you okay? No, he said he's okay with me calling him Dima. You know, if it's okay with you, because now if somebody calls you whatever they like, it's like they are shrinking your name to suit them, or because they can't pronounce it. When I started working in white schools, and then they will say, what's your name? Silondiwe. Do you have an English name? I said, no, my name is Silondiwe. Like, oh, Silondiwe, like Silondiwe. Pronounce it right. You know, even if you choke on it, but pronounce it right. You know, I should have given them the Thengiwe name so that they can like struggle with that sound. Like Thengiwe, you know. So because if people do not call you by the name, your name, they are altering your fate. They are changing your story. So you need to own your name so that nobody changes your story. And every time when you wake up and you say your name back to yourself, you remember what it means. You remember what your character should be, you know. So I will move on. I've made examples with giving these presentations. People listen. I cannot, you know, sometimes I even struggle to give him low marks in class because I'm like, but you speak and you deliver so nicely. So that character of being a messenger, it's like, it follows him. And I remember this one time he got low marks in GP. And then the whole class was like, no, but Russellbeck deserved more marks. And he was also sad. So even the class recognizes his character, the messenger in him. When he speaks, people listen, and he has a command in his voice. So, and so also, like, I like the fact that, because I love poetry, that Uzbek names are very, very poetic. Like the name Farangiz, which follows, Farangiz is like a very beautiful name, and it's got like this poetic feel about it. But a woman who's named Farangiz, I mean, she's very beautiful, she's very elegant, and there's so much history behind her name, because there was also like a story in Persian mythology where the lady, the princess Farangiz left her home to marry this Persian prince, and she was basically caught between two worlds, and she had to be a hero, and she had to stand her ground and be able to navigate her life throughout between these two worlds. And I have a student called Farangiz, so weird, because she's also somehow caught between two worlds, because she loves Korea and she's even learning Korean. I asked her, why are you learning Korean? And she's like, I don't know, but I love it. She can even read Korean. I'm like, what? So now when you look at her name, she's actually following that path. And I love the fact that Uzbek names are very connected to nature, like your flower, lilies, you know, and also connected to religion, where your parents would be saying, okay, this is a gift from Allah. We thank Allah for this child. And throughout your life, you need to carry that with you to say, people need to see God through me because I am a gift from God. Or my parents are thankful to Allah for me. So I need to move in life knowing that I have a bigger purpose to myself and to others because of the name that I carry. Okay. So actually I've talked about this, the colonialism. So there was a lady who gave a TED talk, and one of the things she said was, what's in a name? A lot can be in a name, but Everything is in a name. It's a prophecy, it's a story, it's your whole life. So I will challenge you to actually sit with yourself and ask yourself what your name is and interrogate yourself about the responsibility that you have towards your name, to honor your name, and to live your name's true purpose from this day moving forward. And you need to be able to speak your name with pride and teach others how to say it and reclaim it if it has been taken away from you. So if I call you Akbar John, and you say, no, it's not Akbar John, it's Akbar John, it's your responsibility to teach me how to pronounce your name. If you say Silondiwe or Mathebula, I'm like, no, it's Mathebula. And I know that, like in my language, we have clicks. In other countries, they don't have clicks. But you learn as you meet different people. So a name can be a blessing, a promise, or a reminder of home, a direction back home. Like my name, Silondiwe, which means we have been protected, and it connects me to home. And I know my responsibility is bigger than me. I have a responsibility to myself, to others, and to my family. And lastly, I will finish off by just referring to some proverbs. There's an African proverb that says, a child who is not embraced by a village will burn it down to feel its warmth. So if you do not even know your name, you do not know where you belong. Knowing your name ensures that you know where you belong, and this basically means you'll always work for home, not against home, because that's where your name is rooted. And then there is an Uzbek proverb that says, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this. Ismini Eslan, Chungil Sening Ildizinger. Did I read it right? So it basically says, remember your name because it is your root. And I will end my talk there for today. You need to start owning your name from today.